Hello, Top Fan Rivalry friends. It is that time. It is one of your favorite shows. It's the show that you get up to. It's the show that you look forward to. It's the show that you can't live without. It's the show that just is the show that just keeps on giving. It is the Unraveling Baseball Show with Mike and Bill. Mike, hey!
Bill, I feel like you say that about all your hosts.
Ah, I wish that was the case, but there's been a couple of times
Except
where I've been like,
Sam. Except Sam. We don't say that about Sam.
no, Sam, sorry about this. If you're listening, Sam, if you're gonna add me, my name is Big Dave. No, Jesus. Oh, Mike, we are a week into the season. Talk to
Yeah.
me about the Boston Red Sox.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe the start that they got off to and then the cliff that they immediately fell off of.
Woo, woo.
Right? I mean, like, man, I was at work last week for opening day and I had the game on my Odyssey app, future sponsor for the show, Odyssey.
There you go.
Um, I'm listening to the game. Crochet is not, he doesn't have his best stuff. Maybe a little opening day butterflies. I don't know. And then, we know that I do some baseball carding on the side. A little baseball carding. So I went to my local card store. Uh, and the guy that owns it, one of the guys that owns it is a Yankees fan, unfortunately. And every time he reminds me of that, I'm like,
Ah,
ugh.
ah.
I'm like, Tom, where's the Red Sox game at? He's like, we're watching the Yankees game because the Yankees and the Brewers were playing too, They almost blew it. Jeez, Devin Williams almost gave it up, right? On opening day. Uh, so we're going back and forth between both games and stuff. There's a bunch of my buddies there, and Willie Abreu, hits that big 3-run bomb, and we go crazy, and like there's just excitement because we're like, all right, these guys are going to be really good, and then Raffy Devers decides that he doesn't want to play. He just has to hit the ball, and he just doesn't want to hit the ball at all. Until last night, thankfully, finally, the little production from that big DH contract that they offered him a couple of years ago. So, but you know, super excited about this season for the Red Sox. I am not worried about a slow start. They've started slow many a time. I think that there's just way too much talent on this team. To let it go to waste. It's not going to be wasted. Uh, it's going to be a great season, and I'm so looking forward to the roller coaster that the Red Sox take us on each and every season. So,
Okay, so I was looking at your depth chart earlier, the Red Sox depth chart. It's your depth chart, like you own the team. Hey, since you own the
I
team,
mean,
Mikey, can I get some
Bill,
tickets?
don't
I
tell
mean, what do
don't
I got to
tell
do?
anybody.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
tell
my bad.
anybody.
Uh, so tell me, I was looking at the depth chart. A couple of guys on the IL on your in your starting row, but you're still getting the job done. Any concerns early on?
No way, Romy, my homie, is holding it down. I mean, like the 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 bench is just so uh built the right way. We're talking about the rotation or the bench or both?
Rotation right now.
Oh, the
So you can
rotation.
take
All
it
right,
wherever.
sorry. Oh
Who
yeah,
cares?
you're talking about the rotation. Uh I'm not worried because I mean things seem to be like okay. Sean Newcomb, a little bit of a rough start, but he's your number 5 guy. He had a tough first inning the other day, and then he kind of came back, where he settled in and he got into a groove and no more damage after that first inning. Uh, so that was good to see. Um, the bullpen seems to be doing pretty good. Justin Slayton. is pitching fantastic. Garrett Whitlock has seemed to find his role once again. Thank you to my friends in New York for your Rule 5 uh, non-protecting Garrett Whitlock, because that kid is just a stud in the bullpen. He can go 2 innings of just straight gas, shut him down. Uh, I think that the pitching is okay. Uh, from what I've seen, I mean, they haven't been getting like fully shelled, even in the losses, so
Mhm.
I think that the losses have been more an offensive thing than a pitching issue. Your pitchers are going to give up runs, like that's going to happen. But when the lineup can't produce runs, how the pitching, you know, uh, can't do it all.
No,
So,
no, can't do it all. So talk to me about your bench. Talk to me about I mean, you've mentioned the offense. I'm looking at your schedule. I mean, you end the series this afternoon at 105 with Baltimore. I'll go
yep,
through your schedule here for the next 11, 12 games, but
sure.
what are you thinking about as far as, I mean, you just mentioned the offense a little bit, but do you feel I mean, Rafi got a hit yesterday in Baltimore, 2 run or a 1 run double, I think it
Yep,
was.
yep.
Kind of just,
We had double.
yeah, just kind of broke the lid off things, which is great for
Yeah,
him. What are we thinking? What are we thinking
yeah.
offensively?
We got to continue. He's got to build off of that now. Casas needs to kind of pick it up a little bit, and get his ball rolling. We are, Duran has been okay, but he's gonna, stop thinking that he's White Thunder and get on base. That needs to be his goal. He's not doesn't need to Willie Mays Hayes it, power style. Uh,
Play like Mays, but I run like Hayes.
may run like Hayes.
But woo, you knew where I was going with that, Mike. I love it. I love it.
Man, who doesn't love a good Lou Brown? Who
Lou
doesn't love a
Brown.
good Lou Brown quote?
Yeah.
Um, we are seeing the emergence of another future star in the Boston Red Sox organization, in Christian Campbell.
Yep.
Uh, this kid just, he really, really, really came out of nowhere. We had the big three prospects last year: Teal, uh, Anthony and Marcelo, and they were all like, no, 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 you got to check out Christian Campbell. They're all rooting for their teammate. And so all the eyes started going towards him. And look who the first one to make the big club is. He just looks, uh, like a professional out there. He's got a great eye at the plate. Uh, he's not swinging over his head out of his shoes. He's making contact. He's getting on base. He's taking walks. He's just doing what he needs to do to help the team win, and that's the kind of mentality that everybody needs to take notice of and make make that kind of the mantra
Mhm.
of the team. And again, it's been fun to have baseball back, especially in Boston, and yeah, it's going to be a good season.
Yeah, it's going to be a great season for you guys. I actually like your next dozen or so games. You got one more with Baltimore today,
Yep.
and then you've got three at home again with the Cods,
All
four
right.
at home with Toronto, and then you go out to the White Sox. And so, I mean, you got 11 straight games there, which you might even be able to
Well,
pull out a seven and four,
how
eight and
are the
three.
White Sox this year?
I think they're in first place. If I remember, I haven't looked yet this morning, but I think they're in first place, tied at like 2 and 4 or something like that.
Oh,
I
all
mean,
right.
that's how good the
I
division
heard they were
is.
playing pretty well. They're
They were they They were
Somebody's
playing
gonna,
well.
somebody's gonna lose games, I guess. Like there's got to be a worse division. If there's a best division, there's got to be a worst division, right?
I just looked it up before start of play today on Thursday. The White Sox, the Guardians, the Tigers, the Royals, and the Twins are all tied at 2 and 4.
Nice. Yeah. See.
Yeah,
So they're tied for first in the division right now. Hopefully Jim is hanging on.
that is the best thing that I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to post that on our social medias because you don't get that often.
Right? 6 games in and they're all 2-4.
Yep, yep, yep. So, any surprises to you? Any like, what are you seeing around baseball? I mean, there's a lot. Talk to me about your contract.
What
Talk to
are
me
we
about your last
seeing
couple of
around
contracts.
baseball? Bill, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I heard that the Red Sox are going to get cricket bats and they're going to start using cricket bats.
Okay.
They're going to hit the ball real far with the flat bat.
I mean, listen, the Yankees had to come up with some ghetto superized thing, that was made by Wolowitz and Leonard and Sheldon to get to score 20 runs in one
Doing
game.
Cheatham and Howe, right? Our favorite, our favorite law firm.
Yeah.
I mean, so that has to be one of the hottest topics in baseball right now. Every day I get 16 push notifications about the torpedo bats and what's going on in New York. And sure, they're mashing the ball. Uh, you know, I mean, it's not. They're changing the game by doing that, in my opinion. You
They
know,
are.
it's just not like if not everybody's using the same. It's like, oh yeah, we want softballs to be hit to be pitched to us instead of baseballs. Like that. It's probably not that extreme, but it seems like it's along those lines.
So I'll tell you exactly what I've been saying because I've been getting asked this a bunch,
Sure,
right?
I'm sure.
The the torpedo bats, steroids, all of the above, they don't make you hit the ball. You still have to have good hand-eye coordination. You still have to be able to connect.
Yeah,
Steroids make Barry Bonds break a bat and still make that ball go out of the yard in Miami. Okay. And torpedo bats are the type of bat that once you connect, you got a chance
right,
to hit it on the quote unquote sweet spot. But you
right.
still have to be able to read the pitch. So part of me, part of me absolutely disdains it
I think it's just a
because
competitive advantage, is what it is.
Mhm.
It's not, yeah,
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I'm going with that is it's a competitive advantage. It's some parts of me disdain it because Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio and Mantle and Maris and Aaron and all these guys never needed those bats or never used them,
right.
right? And so, have you seen the way that they actually operate? Do you understand how they actually operate?
To a degree, I haven't done a ton of research into it. I just, it's like hitting almost with like a bowling ball, right? Is that like
So yeah, so what they do is they'll have you, let's say you're in the cages, right? And
a
then you're
pin,
in
not a
batting
bowling
practice,
ball, a bowling pin?
bowling pin, yeah. I knew what you meant. That's
Yeah.
um, but let's say you're in the cages and then you're taking batting practice, you see the ink on the ball that gets worn off on your bat, right? So you take that bat in and they identify where your sweet spot is,
All
not
right.
the normal sweet spot of a bat, but
Yeah.
where your sweet spot is. And then what they do is they genetically enhance a bat so that you're always hitting on the sweet spot. So instead of what you and I would call barreling it up, right?
Yeah. Right.
instead of barreling it up and having a bat that has the knob and it goes up to the barrel. The
Yeah.
barrel might not be at the top of the bat, where it's at, it
The
might be a little
barrel the
further down.
barrel is specific to the player,
Correct.
more or less. Right. Yeah. Man.
Correct.
It's just I, I don't like to be like one of these, well, back in my day, guys, I'm not that old, but
Yes, you are. But no.
right, yeah. Uh but it just seems like it's not the pitch clock, it's not the base, the bigger base or whatever it's not it's not even the shift, as like as the shift was like such an annoying thing,
Mhm.
but it didn't inherently like change
The game.
the game,
Correct.
right?
Whereas this does.
So yeah, this changes the game.
Yes.
So
I,
you
I
know, I
agree
mean,
with you.
I
I
feel like I feel like unraveling baseball had to just talk about the torpedo bat for a quick second.
Absolutely. And so I have a friend who will be on this show at some point. And he has had a lot of interactions with people that you may know, some guy named Dave Roberts, and a few other people. And so he sent me a text message after he and I went live um, earlier in the week and said, "Hey, I just talked to this person and this person, and this person, and right now the only teams that, because he made a prediction on a live, he said after what the Yankees did in those first two games with them, he goes, I guarantee you thousands of these bats are going to be sold, and he was right. The only teams that are using them right now are the Yankees and the Twins. But in that one day after the Yankees scored 20 runs with that, there
Yeah.
was 1,300 of them produced in one day. And the majority of the teams placed orders.
Well, if
And
they're
so,
all specific to each player, how are you producing 1,300?
yeah. Well, it's my assumption is that a lot of these players have, so it's kind of like going to the doctor, right? When you go to the doctor says, okay, you hurt. Where do you hurt? Well, let's run
Right.
some tests and things like that. My
Yeah.
assumption is that they've already run tests for several of these players, and they'll pick two or three Red Sox, two or three Dodgers, and they might not be the high profile. Notice how Aaron Judge didn't use one of these bats because it would have been kind of the wrong sample size, right? But
Sure.
if
Yeah.
you
He hasn't needed it to
No, he hasn't needed
back
it. But if
over.
you use Blake Sable and you use maybe Trevor Story, who had a great game the other night on Wednesday, if you use one guy that's been an all-star, one guy that hasn't, that's a great sample size. Like you don't hand these bats to Shohei and Mookie and Freddie and say, "Here's your sample size. Do you want to hit like these
Right.
guys?" Nah, it doesn't
Right.
work that way.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem, I don't know. Like it just doesn't like what's the difference between bringing out like the metal bat, the aluminum
Exactly.
bat?
That's the argument that I've had with one person offline
Right.
is what's the difference in bringing out the metal bat? A and B, does I'm still not understanding whether or not velocity off the bat is stronger because if it is, heads up, if you're a pitcher, heads up because now you are literally in the line of fire. These things already come off at 110, 120 mile an hour. You
Right?
don't need them
Yeah.
to come off at another. You're gonna die. You're 60 feet 6 inches away. You get hit, you're dead.
Right.
Right. So no, I agree with you, Mike. I don't know yet. I don't know how I feel about these things. I just know that
Yeah.
they beta tested them in the biggest market in the nation, um, so that they could sell more
They
bats.
work. Hey, they work.
That's true. That's true. It's
But
um,
is it right for the game? Is it right to do that? Probably not.
well, I can't remember who you had last night. I was watching the game on Wednesday night, and was it Breggy? one of your guys was using one, and I don't remember if it was Brady or not. It might have been Trevor Story. One of them was using it, and
Yeah,
I was like, oh, all right, we're
it's probably
really gonna.
Bregman. I, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get to watch the game last night, but Bregman has a propensity for banging trash cans, so
It's on your team now. You can't say that stuff.
sure you can. I don't
Oh
play
man,
for the team. I'm not.
that's
I'm
so
not
funny.
owned by the team.
That's so funny. On your team.
uh, yeah,
Um, couple things that I saw this opening week. Um, obviously the Padres started out a lot hotter than I thought they would. The Dodgers started out hotter than I thought they would. Now, mind you, I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, it's a super team," but to win 7 games in a row, regardless
go
if
out
you're a
there and
super team or
perform.
not,
Yeah,
things have to go right for you,
right.
right? And
I mean,
so,
should they should be winning? Yeah, yeah, they should. But like, then you still have to go out there and perform. Like, the best teams on paper rarely actually win.
so the hard part too, the hard part is um, you also see a lot of injuries right now. I've seen a lot of guys go out. I mean, the White Sox had what, 6 guys announce that they're going to have Tommy John surgery.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of players that are going out with injuries. Jordan Montgomery, that hurts the Diamondbacks. So injury bug is in full effect in April, that's for sure.
and I think that guys are just like they're trying to gear up too quickly.
Yeah.
They're not taking their time to really. You know, I, it just seems like that must be what it is because
Mhm.
to see this rash of injuries, you know. But hey, on the flip side, we have seen some big contracts handed
Talk to me
out
about
over the
that.
last couple of days, right?
Hmm.
In Boston, two big contracts.
Hmm.
Garrett Crochet and Christian Campbell, I think both got 8-year deals,
Yeah.
or one got 8 and one got 6. I
I
think they
think they
both got
both
I think they
I,
both got 8-year deals.
I think
So
they both got 8-year deals. Yeah, because
yeah, which is great, to have a an ace of a pitcher locked up long term and a future stud. I mean, he's 6 games into his major league career, but we've already touched on Christian Campbell and kind of what he's already been able to bring to the team and what his potential is. So uh you need to build for now, but you also need to build for the future.
yeah,
Uh and you have to have those guys in place. I mean, if you put a good team out on there, uh out on the field or on the court or whatever, on the diamond, uh you want that success to continue and to keep the consistency and everything like that. And unless it's just like god awful, that's going to help uh for long-term success. And I know from time to time I'm prone to compare you know the other compare the Red Sox to the other teams in Boston. But look at the Celtics, right? They brought back the exact same team from last year, and they're in the exact same spot that they were last year, which is at the
yeah,
top. So when you have a formula that works, get them in and keep them for as long as you can. Keep them together for as long as you can. Uh, And then Jackson Merrill also locked up long term in San Diego. Uh, this kid is going to be a face of the game. Uh,
hmm. He'll be all over
so
MLB The Show, everything.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
also good to see, and that's great for San Diego.
It is. I've got a couple of questions for you. Before we get to that, though, you and I, Top Fan Rivalry and Heads Up Sports Cards, have partnered up to do some things. Mike, can you tell everybody what we partnered up to do?
Yeah, definitely. So if you don't know by now, if you've been living under a rock or hanging out in a cave
Exactly.
somewhere, no Wi-Fi, Heads Up Sports Cards, which is my Facebook group. Feel free to jump on over there, join anybody that's out there in the ether. Head on over to Heads Up Sports Cards on Facebook. Join the group. If you're into sports cards and box breaking and stuff like that, that is what we specialize in, and that is what I have brought with this partnership with Top Fan Rivalry, along with uh, a quick wit and a wealth of knowledge and banter with Bill.
Yeah, it's Mike, it has been, and for those of you listening to this, Mike knows more. I think knows more than, I mean, he's probably forgot more things than I'll ever know. I mean, this guy knows his stuff when it comes to the cards. He's been doing this for over 10 years. It has been such a blessing, such a great partnership to have great products. Mike knows what he's doing. He knows what he's saying. It's a great partnership, and I cannot wait to continue it into this next quarter. We've done this now for a full quarter, and
Yeah,
plus some. We
wow.
did some last year,
Yeah, that's
um,
right. We started in
but it's
December.
yeah, it's been
So
successful.
basically, every other week,
Hmm.
we go live on Instagram and we open a box of baseball cards. We bring in all different kinds of baseball cards, all different years. And in sports cards, you're always looking for those big rookies of big time players. So I think I'm going to go ahead and announce what our next box break is, which
Of
goes
course.
live to our 20 to the 27 Outs Club members in just a few hours. And tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, it goes live on the Top Fan Rivalry team store where you can pick your team for our next box break. It is going to be a jumbo box of 2020 Tops Update, which is a really fun, uh, you know, year. Obviously, we all remember in 2020 there was the craziest baseball season since 1992. Uh, um, 92 was a strike year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. um, the COVID season in 2020. So uh, the update usually features the All-Star game. There was no All-Star game in 2020, so it is heavily uh, commemorates heavily past All-Star games. So there are some awesome legends in this product. David Ortiz, Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., uh, Mark McGuire, Cal Ripken Jr. I think Frank Thomas is in here. Of course, you have Trout and Harper and Soto and Shohei, Freddie and Harper, and all the stars of today are in this product. And then big rookies of Jordan Alvarez, Bo Bichette, and I'm sure that there are many more that I can't remember off the top of my head uh, right now. But a jumbo box guarantees us an autograph, as well as two other hits, usually a jersey relic and a commemorative patch.
Mm.
Um, and then there's always some fun goodies thrown in there, numbered stuff, short printed stuff. Uh, so Topps flagship, one of my favorite products that I collect every year. I might grab a team or two, Bill, if that's okay.
Knock yourself out.
And
I mean, do what you got to
uh,
do. Trust me, I may grab a team or two.
right,
I mean,
right.
there's a little bit in here that I like, and I
If
said,
there's if
oh,
there's any teams left, um, but next month or this coming Monday, we'll go live on Instagram. We'll open the box. We'll find some great cards for everybody that jumps in and joins. And we'll have a lot of fun just talking and doing what we always do here at Top Fan
100%.
Rivalry.
Yes, 100%. And Mike, it has been just such a great thing. I didn't realize how passionate the hobby gets. And I love the way that you do it, your style, your flair for it. That's why you're a great partner with this. And for those of you listening to this, please follow Mike on all of his socials. Almost every night he has a box break of his own on Facebook. Go check that stuff out. I mean, we have some Top Fan Rivalry people that have come over there, over to your box breaks and participated in them, and they've been absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. Um, okay, Mike, let me ask you. Let's go back to the contracts. We got about 7 minutes left in the show. Let's go back to the contracts from a business perspective. Take your fandom off for a second. Do
Sure.
you like this move with Merrill? And do you like this move with Christian Campbell?
Yeah, I mean, as a as if I were putting myself in the shoes of somebody that worked for these teams, for the Red Sox or the Padres, I want to lock up my best players, for as long as I can.
Yeah,
Uh, the I mean, I guess players can get upset even if they have contracts, long-term contracts, but you always run the risk of uh the a relationship souring as contract negotiations get closer and stuff like that. Uh and honestly, I think usually it's media driven. I think that the media uh is the one that I don't think it's like actually a professional thing. I think it's like a media thing that happens uh and gets fans, talking, and they then players read and management reads and whatever. But that'll be a topic for another day. That's not the question at hand. I love the big long term contracts for young players to stay with the team that brought them to the show. 100%.
yeah, yeah. I looked at that. I looked at the Jackson Merrill contract, and I thought to myself, this is a no-brainer because this guy literally will be one of the not stars, one of the superstars in the game. Locking
Yeah.
him up early in his contract, almost borderline taking advantage of him. Now they're paying him a lot of money, but before he realizes how good
Right.
he's going to be, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's a smart move. The Christian Campbell move, I think that that's ingenious because you get him for 8 years. If he's going to be that good, you're getting him. I know 60 million sounds like a lot, but you're getting him for $60 million over the next 8 years. If he's as good as everybody says he's going to be, he's going to get over 1,000 hits for you. He proved that Wednesday night with two doubles,
Yep.
right? He's going to get over a
Yep.
thousand hits for you in a Red Sox jersey. And, I've been to Boston. I know that you guys are passionate about your your teams, and it's going to make it easier to keep him uh throughout. And if it doesn't work out, I mean, I hate to say this, but $60 million is nothing in the baseball world. Absolutely
Sure.
nothing.
Yeah.
So it's nothing
Yeah.
in the baseball
And,
world.
and
So
I think what's going to happen is, when Roman Anthony comes up and when Marcelo comes up, like you're going to see them also get locked up long
yeah,
term because that
yeah,
is the way that the Red Sox have built their organization over the last couple of years through their farm system. Uh,
100%. I like these moves. I like the fact, and you and I talked about this offline. I like the fact that the Garrett Crochet move happened as well, because that kind of trade, so to speak, makes zero sense whatsoever.
sure.
Zero sense unless you're going to get this guy for a long term. Now that you
Right.
got him a long term, perfect sense. He
Yep.
tossed against the Orioles the other night, and he looked good.
Oh
He
yeah.
looked really good. And so, yeah, Red Sox Nation is gotta be loving what's going on, right?
Well, and I know we talked about this last time, but I like we had fun last season with the Red Sox because they were wild and they were crazy and they went out and they made moves and they did get better, Bregman and Crochet and uh but I I gotta say like I wasn't as uh because like the Yankees and the Orioles are still really good teams.
Mhm.
But there are so many people that I've been, as we've been scrolling social media and stuff like that, that have been picking the Red Sox to win. And and I kind of say I love it. Like I'm always going to pick the Red Sox in my heart, but in my head they might not, like it might not have made the most sense.
Mhm.
But the fact that I'm
Oh,
seeing like real people out there that are picking the Red Sox and not just like, the Boston market and the Boston media and stuff like that. It's great.
yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, no, listen, I think the Red Sox have a lot of opportunity to go and make it happen. A lot of opportunity to go make it happen. So I like this move for the Red Sox. They're starting out, even though they started out 2-4, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, they're gonna
Right. The AL Central is 2-4.
exactly the entire AL Central is 2-4. And so, I mean, what
Anything
more are
can
you gonna
happen.
do, right?
It's like a snow day.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, Toronto's 5-2. Toronto is not gonna be that good all the way through. I think they'll be good, but I don't think they're. I mean, you play that thing out, you times that out by whatever that
You
is,
you
7, and you
can't
times
you
that out
can't
by
you can't
14.
really like look at the standings until they're until we hit the quarter mark.
Yeah. I did make a gentleman's wager with a friend of mine.
Unless
Uh,
something nutty happens and somebody's like 31-0 or something.
exactly,
They're
exactly.
like the Dodgers are going to be.
Well, I did make a gentleman's wager with a friend of mine, a couple of hot dogs at Petco Park. If the Dodgers, I told him that the Dodgers are in their first 40 games are going to go 35-5 or
How
better.
many how many touchdowns are the Dodgers going to score before they get their first loss?
Well, it was funny. Yeah, exactly. How many touchdowns? Exactly. It was funny. Wednesday night's game, they were playing the Braves, and the Braves jumped out and got 5 runs early against Blake Snell. Which don't get me started about Blake Snell. I That's a whole different podcast. Um, but after 8 innings, it was
You can
tied
give
up
him
five
back to
five.
Sam. Send him back to San Francisco.
Exactly. Here, Sam, we can hand them for fungo bats and batting practice balls. Here you go.
Torpedo bats. Torpedo.
Torpedo bats and batting practice balls. But yeah, the 1984 Tigers were 35-5 to start out their first 40 games. Do I think that the Dodgers can do that? I don't know, but it's fun. I mean, baseball's back. It's fun. San Diego's undefeated. I mean, the Dodgers are trying to work that way, to stay. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, Mike, is there anything else that we need to cover with everybody on a Thursday morning? We've unraveled most of baseball. We've unraveled the Red Sox. Is there anything else that we need to come up with?
I think I'm just gonna leave a little dangling carrot here. In future episodes, Bill,
Yes.
I want to talk to you about how uh what baseball can do to make the All-Star weekend better than it already is.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I
Because
like this.
I saw something this week that I was like that reminded me of it, and I think it's something that needs to come back.
Ooh, okay. So remind me in 2 weeks, we're gonna have that discussion because
Oh yeah.
I think that that's a great oh,
No,
I
remind
like
me in
this.
2 weeks.
Yes, I like this. I like this a lot. Yes, sir. All right, Top Fan Rivalry friends. We are so grateful that you joined us. Mike and I are doing our best to give you the best content, give you a few laughs out here. If you're watching this on YouTube, go hit mash that subscribe button. Leave us a comment, tell us what you think. Be nice. We're only human. If you're listening to us on the audio side, we love you, we appreciate you, and we look forward to um, any comments that you want. Make sure that you're catching up with not only Top Fan Rivalry but Heads Up Sports Cards, especially on Facebook where Mike does his breaks. Got to show this guy some love, man. He does such a great. He's so talented at what he does. So go check that out. And Mike, what do you say we do it again in a couple weeks?
Sounds good to me. We'll see
All
you
right,
on
man.
Monday though for 2020 Tops Update Jumbo.
There, there you go. We'll talk soon, everybody.